This is Grayman Media content.
I'm Jessica.
I'm Devin.
We founded a media company to help promote local artists and goof off with our friends.
It's not always easy running all these shows, but we decided to add another to our list.
This is The Other Show.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night. It's another episode of The Other Show.
Ta-da!
Today, we're talking about
The Super Bowl halftime show with Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg.
50 Cent, Mary J. Blige, and
I couldn't remember her name, and I was like, oh, crap.
and Kendrick Lamar.
I feel like that's the most people they've ever had together in a Super Bowl. I can't confirm that, but it seems like that's like the most people they've had like performing at one time.
Andrew Pack was there also, but he wasn't performing. I mean, I guess he was performing, but he wasn't doing any of his music.
Who's that?
He
Was that the drummer or like the band beside Eminem?
yeah, I can't remember where he was in the stage, but he does that song that's really popular with Bruno Mars right now. There's
There's
a
lot of those.
yeah, well, there's also some other songs that he does that I like. I'm not the biggest Andrew Peck guy, but I saw him. I was like, oh, there he is.
Is he under their label as well?
I would
Is that
assume
why he
so.
was there?
I would
Oh,
assume
okay.
so. Yeah.
Because that's what it seems like. That's what I was telling you. I didn't even know that Snoop Dogg was underneath Dr. Dre's label. I thought he was his own label. I didn't even like put two and two together until I saw them together. I was like, oh.
Snoop Doggy Dog. It was a good show.
It was pretty entertaining. It was really cool to see some hip hop there too. It's usually what, like poppy or maybe rock and stuff. Got to see some hip hop.
Yeah, I don't know when the last time, if at all, hip hop has been in the Super Bowl halftime show. I'm not a big sports guy by any means.
Yeah, we didn't even watch the game, honestly. We recorded a podcast.
Yeah,
We were recording
We were doing a
thoughts.
podcast. Yeah, during the entire. It was a great episode.
Yeah, we recorded that, and then later after everyone left, we're like, all right, let's go watch the halftime show on YouTube.
Yeah, but we watched the Super Bowl last year, and I'm a big Weeknd fan, so I really enjoyed the halftime show.
Yeah, this halftime show was not quite the same as the Weeknd. But mind you, we discussed this. He put a lot of extra money into his,
Yeah.
and I'm assuming that Dr. and all them didn't put that much extra money of their own, because that was why the Weeknd's was so big and like crazy. Is because he put like an extra, I think it was like $7 million or something into it himself, outside of what they gave him to budget.
No problem.
Yeah, and I'm assuming they didn't. I still thought it was cool. Like the double layering of the way the stage was really cool. I enjoyed that a lot. Mm-hmm. Also, why was Kendrick in a box? What was that about?
I think it's a reference. I mean, I know he was doing kind of like he had all the guys around him. He was kind of doing the humble thing.
Oh, is that what it was?
I don't know. I'm not like, again, I like Kendrick Lamar's music. And I really, really love to talk about Kendrick Lamar in front of Preston because he seems to think that I hold him to some kind of huge standard. I like Kendrick Lamar, but it's not like that for me. It's just not. So he always gets upset because he thinks J. Cole's better, which, sure, there's an argument to be made about that, but I'm not the one to have it, so it doesn't matter to me. But it always pisses him off, so it's a good time. But if there's a reference there, I don't,
You don't. It's not obvious to you why he was in a box.
it's lost. It's lost on me, so I don't know. But it was really cool to have all the like big '90s names. I mean, Kendrick not included, but yeah, they had to throw something in there for the new kids. So
Yeah, he's also really, really big, and he's under the label, so he's like, well, might as well. Again, I think what I joked about is like they asked Dr. Dre, he's like, yeah, I'll come, but I'm bringing the whole gang with me.
Yeah.
And they all showed up.
yeah, for sure. It was a good time. I enjoyed the show.
It was really cool. I wish there was more pyrotechnics though.
Of course you do.
Because fire is always amazing.
50 Cent, all the memes that have come from 50 Cent, it's been great.
No. Yeah, I saw a few of those. People a little harsh, but it was kind of funny.
Yeah, it's the internet. It's the internet.
Yeah, that's the internet for you.
Yeah. That was a good time.
I enjoyed the show. I do agree. I think the Weeknd one from last year was a lot better. But again, he put a lot more effort into it, and he was singing to the fans like, or watching the box instead of the ones in the stage or like in the auditorium. I don't know what they call a football field area.
Stadium.
Stadium, that's the word. Yeah.
Auditorium.
Yeah. I know a lot about sports. Not.
That doesn't have anything to do with sports. My one complaint, I don't know why. I mean, I guess I get it because it was like his first, not even his first big hit, but it was like arguably one of his biggest songs. I am a big Eminem fan. That's pretty well known about me.
Massive, some might say. Massive fan.
More is older stuff. And when I say older stuff, I mean like 2000 stuff, not 90s stuff, which is also good.
So the middle stuff.
Yeah, sure.
The middle stuff.
I don't know why he performed Lose Yourself. Again, it's arguably one of his largest songs, and it was for the time period. But, I mean, Dr. Dre and Snoop were performing songs that was like a decade before that. Even more, maybe. I'm not sure.
Was it their like biggest songs, though? They might have all been just performing their biggest songs. I don't know much about her, and I've heard some Dr. Dre, but I don't know enough about him to know what his most famous song is. And maybe they were all just performing some of their biggest hits. I guess hits, because they only all performed like one song.
Yeah, for sure. They did. I mean, arguably, Dre performed his top songs.
Okay.
Snoop's got some great music.
But what the song what song, do you know the name of whatever song he performed?
I don't remember.
I don't know enough about his music again.
If I heard it, I'd be able to tell you because I know it was one of the ones that I would know because, I mean, I don't know all of his music, but I'd definitely at least know the hits, and he definitely performed a hit song. So my gut says Gin and Juice, but I know that he also the opening song was one that he was doing with Dre, and I'm trying to remember which one that was, but it's lost on me. So whatever, but it was a good time. It was great. 50 doing Into Club, which is awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Even a nod to the music video.
I think they all did good. Again, my only weird thing is I just can't figure out why Kendrick was in a box. I feel like there's a reference I'm missing, unless he was just trying to be different, but I think I'm missing something. I don't know. But it was a good show. Oh, that was a good show.
Mary J. Blige was good. I don't know much about her music either, but she performed well, so.
Yeah, she performed really well. I don't think I've ever heard a song. If I do, I definitely could not tell you.
I know a few songs, none of which she performed. Most of them are features on other people's. My favorite is Fancy. She performed on Fancy with Drake, and then there was another one that she featured on. She did the chorus on. Can't remember. Not important. She didn't do that song. so it doesn't matter. Yeah, overall, it was a good show. Are we giving it ratings? I don't think we've seen
that
enough.
one. Probably not. No,
I don't think we've seen halftime shows enough to really be.
Let's rate all the halftime shows ever. I think there's been like 50 Super Bowls or something, so it would be a long time.
Probably more, honestly.
I wonder do you know who the first person to ever do a halftime show was? I wonder. I'll have to look that up later.
Probably some like high school band or something.
Maybe. I don't know. I'll look that up later. We'll see. If there's video footage out there, Devin will insert it here.
You.
If there's not video footage, he'll insert the name here. Whoever it was, I don't know. Also, you think a high school band did like a big football
the big concerts type stuff has been of more recent development in halftime shows.
I mean, yeah, it used to be just some kind of singing or something, right? I don't know.
I'm telling you, it's because at one point they had like they did have a marching band, and it was within like the last 2 decades.
Really?
Yeah, it's only been relatively recently since they've been making a huge show out of it.
Okay.
I might have my time scale off a little bit. It might be like 3 or 4 decades, but I'm telling you, it has not been. Alexa, how many Super Bowls has there been?
55. So we'd have to go through.
Alexa, stop.
I thought it was a really good show, though.
Yeah, it was good.
I do prefer last year's The Weeknd one because you can tell there was a lot more money in that one, and it was so much more showy, which I guess is. I know with hip hop in general, that's not usually what it is. Like you're going for the person, not like this big crazy thing. Which by they usually get
performance wise, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I enjoyed it, but I prefer a lot of visuals because I'm a child.
No, I'm the same.
Also, fire and fireworks and all that stuff.
Yeah,
fire. I love fire.
That was great. Potter.
So, Devin, we've recently just went through all the Harry Potters with the kids.
Yeah.
Which one is your favorite?
I like Goblet of Fire.
Goblet of Fire?
Yeah,
That one's really good.
That's like one of
Devin's a little sleepy.
I also like Order of the Phoenix a lot.
Yeah, that's when you start getting to the darker stuff, which I like.
Yeah, that's why I like it. But I think the Goblet of Fire, like just the competitions and the trials, and yeah, you see Voldemort rise from the dead for the first time, and because before that he was always this ambiguous kind of character. There was no real face to the evil.
Yeah, because they kept changing it, so there's not like a solid face to it.
You saw dude on the back of Quirrell, his head, sure. Then in Chamber of Secrets, you see Tom Riddle, who's not intimidating in any way, shape, or form.
No.
And then in Prisoner of Azkaban,
You don't see him.
yeah, I know you don't see him. I'm just trying to think. I mean, because he definitely comes up.
I mean, they talk about him, but that's more of them finding out who actually killed, like, Harry's parents. But you never really see him. Or you don't see him in that one. They more just kind of talk about him rising and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, the real bad guy in that movie was the Dementors.
Yeah, those things suck. Literally.
Yeah. How about you? What's your favorite movie?
My favorite, I think Goblet of Fire is really good. I really enjoy Deathly Hallows Part 1. I don't know what it is, but the start of that adventure and watching this crazy of them, like they're exploring different parts of the world too, which is really cool to see.
Yeah.
Instead of all being centered around this one specific area, that's it.
Hogwarts.
Or this one, or this little town that's there, like that's it. You actually get to go see that, which is really cool. Yeah. I do also enjoy Order of Phoenix because that's when it stops becoming like as kids with magic. It becomes like, oh, this is real stuff. Mm-hmm. This is about to get really intense.
Yeah, I agree with that also because even in Goblet of Fire, like, yeah, they're still at Hogwarts doing school shit.
Yeah, it's still got this innocence behind it where it's not quite dark, and then after that, it's when it starts kicking off of like all the crazy stuff that happens.
Yeah, and in Order of Phoenix, you have actual duels with the baddies, and it's it really ramps up the action a little bit. Yeah, it's a good time for sure. And then Half-Blood Prince is also good. I don't know, just the first and second.
My issue with the ending of that is they just left that just like.
Yeah, they did. They did that for all of them, bro.
Well, with that one, more of like this Half-Blood Prince, like the whole movie, like they're trying to word it. Then at the end, it's just like, I'm the Half-Blood Prince. Boom, movie ends. Like that was it. I don't know. I feel like there should have been a much more dramatic scene about this, or Harry should have been like, wait, what do you mean? But no, he was just like, oh, cool.
Well,
that was it.
They were trying to leave it as much on a cliffhanger as possible so that they could get you pumped up for Deathly Hallows, which they inevitably split into two different movies. Yeah. That way you can pay for the movie tickets twice.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, but I get why they did it also. So it's fine. I don't know. Just the first two movies are so different compared to the rest of them.
Yeah,
because they changed up a lot.
1 and 2 is a lot more innocent, a lot more like it is because they're building the world, but it's so much different. Yeah. By the time 3 hits, it's like, oh crap, like there's actually stuff happening.
We ain't even wearing school uniforms no more. Yeah. All the rules go out the window. Yeah. Oh,
that was really cool. I like in Half-Blood Prince where you start seeing Dumbledore start getting a little more creative and a lot more deceptive of people around him in general. You start seeing that inside in a way. He
has no choice.
Yeah, he has no choice, but you actually finally start seeing him do it a lot more, which is interesting to see.
Yeah, it does feel much more grand. You know, when you start to see all the moving pieces that aren't explained necessarily in the movies, but are happening in the background, like. From the get-go, you find out, at the end of I think part 2 of Deathly Hallows, you find out like Dumbledore's known all this whole time, and just knowing that
he's been doing this thing this whole time, and
yeah.
he had this grandiose plan that everybody only knew a small little bit about, and at the end it just happened to hopefully work out perfectly. Which, you know, good for Dumbledore, because somehow he made a plan and it all worked out. Considering the rest of Harry Potter, none of it ever works out when they make a plan. They're riding by the seat of their pants, hoping it works.
I mean,
and Dumbledore's like, "Nah, don't worry, this has all been planned out for me." Oh, what? How did we get here? How did we do that?
and it wasn't. It did, and it didn't work, right? I'm sure he didn't mean to get whatever infection that was on his hand from the Horcrux that made him die, you know? Because ultimately, that's
but well, I guess that part might not have been his plan at the end to die, but once something happened, he knew he had to. He just created a new plan that worked.
We don't know all the trials of Dumbledore, okay? He could have ran into roadblocks every 5 minutes going for these things. We don't know.
He was just guessing the whole time.
That's just what everyone else in the movie does. Why not? The only one that seemed to actually have a plan was Voldemort, and he split shit into 8 pieces like a psychopath.
Yeah, he did a lot. Which I'm curious, like, okay, you have to split your soul. I'm sure this is explained in the book somewhere, maybe. If not, in some kind of fan lore, somebody has this somewhere. You have to split your soul into, all right, say there's 7 pieces of things in front of you. Like, do you have to kill somebody and touch it immediately for it to work? Because they said you have to kill somebody to, like, split your soul.
Yeah.
How do you immediately get it to go into a thing?
Magic.
I mean, yes.
Literally.
Do you just enchant it, and then the next time you kill somebody, your soul's just like, all right, cool. I'm going to go over here and find this thing and, like, stay in there.
You're
like,
doing the thing that the kids do where they're asking questions. And
that shouldn't be answer.
There literally is only one answer, and the answer is magic. It doesn't work for every movie, but Harry Potter, it does.
Yeah, you can literally say magic.
Magic. That's how it happened.
Also, starting the end of Half-Blood Prince.
Yeah.
Deathly Hallows. Who the hell thought it was a good idea to still send their kids to school? Because by the end of Deathly Hallows 2, that school is filled with children. Most of which, like, they don't need to be there because their parents don't align with whatever Voldemort's doing. So obviously you wouldn't send your kid there. Why are you still sending your kid to Hogwarts? Keep them home for a year till gets figured out. But no, they still sent all their kids there. Even what they joked about having to use the torture curse, I don't remember what it's called, on first years. So also people were sending their, like, 12-year-olds there. Not even just kids who had already been there. They had sent new kids there.
Yeah.
And this was allowed to happen. Who said this was okay? Who wasn't like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do school this year, and, like, let's see how this plays out.
I agree with you.
Like, what happened there? I'm very confused.
I agree with you. I don't know that if it's explained in the books at all. I have no idea. I got another burning question. Umbridge got taken by those centaurs, and there's no way they would have just let her go.
Oh, no, she should have died. They definitely would have killed her.
Yeah, for sure.
And all of a sudden, she just standing there happy. I hate that. I hate that. Yeah, I'll say it. I hate that. They did a great job with making you hate her in your soul. They did a fantastic job of that.
Yeah, they did.
Because she's terrible.
Yeah.
All right. And then you had this question. I've seen memes about this. I've had this question. All these healing powers, all this stuff. Why can't they fix Harry's eyesight with little whoosh, whoosh, whoosh?
Oh, yeah.
Why? We can fix glasses. They can make his arm go back to a normal thing by growing bones or, like, other Why can't we fix eyesight?
I can mend a broken bone in a heartbeat, but growing them back.
I love that. I love the nurse. He's great.
I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
They definitely have a spell to fix eyesight. Why didn't anybody think to use it?
They may not. It may be very complicated.
Also, I think he was, like, the only one with glasses.
No.
I don't remember.
Dumbledore wore glasses.
They were like reading glasses.
Hello.
Oh. They were like reading glasses.
He wore them all the time. He wasn't constantly reading.
But they were really small. They're like those little, you go like, this to read.
The distinguished.
Yeah.
I will say, when I was young, one of my, arguably my favorite part of Harry Potter was watching Quidditch. And it was cool to watch the boys get. That was like one of the most exciting parts. Every time Quidditch popped up, it was like, oh, go team, go.
I'm still trying to figure out the rules of that game because, like,
play the game.
I mean, yeah, but the rules are like this ball can still go for attack somebody, and people aren't like a teacher's not gonna be like, all right, maybe somebody enchanted this ball. They're just like, oh no, this is Quidditch. What? Is there no rule saying you can't tamper with stuff, and then if you do, you're in trouble or something? Like you can't attempt to kill somebody with a ball. But it happened a lot. And there's no rules against this. There's no disqualifications against this at all.
It happened
None of this.
once.
What?
Where
People
somebody-
interfering with a game?
No, where somebody messed with the ball specifically.
I mean, yeah, because the other time they messed with his broom.
Yeah, which obviously that's against the
Yeah.
rules. That's not.
I'm just saying, like,
That's not even a game.
as
Like,
Harry
what do you
and them
mean?
are all going down underneath the stadium and this ball's like breaking all the what. Nobody thought for a second, maybe we should like fix this ball real quick. They were just going to let
I
this
think
happen.
it was far too late at that point.
No, they were all just chilling up there. They didn't care. They just wanted to see Harry try to grab the gold ball. That's all they wanted.
I got nothing for you. I don't know what you want from me. Also, though, in actual, like world tournament Quidditch, there's no, or at least this is how it was in the game. The snitch is not an automatic victory. It's worth 100 points. That doesn't mean that you win the game. I mean,
Yeah, you want higher stakes. By the time you're playing for the world, literally a World Cup, you'd think they'd be able to catch those things pretty quickly. So you can't just like, oh, you're going to win right away.
yeah.
You just want to make it where they score the highest points quickly or something.
The game was so fun. And if we ever get the PS2 working, I would love to play it with you. It's a lot of fun. The graphics are almost certainly terrible, but it was
Good old nostalgia.
my favorite team was the Japanese team and the Icelandic team. Super cool stadiums, super cool like special moves and stuff. It was a lot of fun. You should play the new Harry Potter game when it comes out.
Why?
I don't know.
Just because?
I think you'd enjoy it.
Are you still fighting Voldemort or is it more about Quidditch?
I have no clue. No, it's not Quidditch. It's like Skyrim, but Harry Potter.
Huh.
And probably not. Actually, it might be bigger than Skyrim at this point. Video games at this point are Skyrim's nothing anymore.
Yeah, they're starting to get way too big.
I remember
That's
when
my
Skyrim,
issue with video games is if the map gets too big, I get way too overwhelmed and I'm like, I don't even know where to start.
You feel that way until you start doing stuff.
Yeah, and then I have to walk halfway across the map to do so. It takes 25
No,
minutes to
that's
walk
not-
across this video game map.
Listen, I'm playing Breath of the Wild right now. I won't talk about it too much, but listen, it within the first 5 hours of the game, I've opened up half the map. I can teleport just about anywhere I want, and I have a horse. So the game gives you options. Okay, you're not stuck to these kind of. It's not like that. I promise. I think you'd enjoy it. It'd be fun for the channel.
I might play it.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Either way, I like the Harry Potter movies. Who's your favorite character? Because we all know who the most hated character of Harry Potter of all time is. We're not talking about her. Who's the who's your favorite character in all of Harry Potter?
Dumbledore.
Dumbledore's your favorite?
Yeah. He wasn't up until you get into the Order of the Phoenix, and he's owning Voldemort with his own spells. That was sick as.
Yeah.
I just
agree.
wish we knew more about Dumbledore, and I think they're making movies about it, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, they tied him in with Fantastic Beasts. You saw him for like a little bit. I'm assuming they're going to go back and try to explore his world a little bit.
Yeah, but Dumbledore's. But I mean, the hero of the whole movie is Snape.
Oh yeah, I love Snape. He's awesome.
Snape is Snape is everything to the movie. Like you go through the entire movie or book series thinking he's the bad guy, and it's only revealed at the very, very end that he's been there the whole time, in a similar vein as Dumbledore. And he truly loves Harry Potter, mostly because he
Just wants to look into his eyes and see his mom.
yeah, mostly because he loved Lily, and he just never got so.
Which I wish they'd do a little more explanation on how that worked. Because if they were such best friends, how did she just turn her back on him to somebody who was being mean to
He
him
got
all the time?
friend-zoned.
I mean, yeah, but
that's
also
true.
like, because supposedly
James.
James Potter was being mean to him all the time, like basically bullying him. Yet she was still one of Snape's best friends. Like, how did this work? Or was she just actually a bitch and they never said it?
Possibly. Also, I don't think, or at least in the flashbacks that you see in the movie, I don't think Lily is present for James bullying Severus.
I don't know, but you don't think Severus would never said anything when she
I don't
started
think
getting
so,
close
because
to
I
him?
think that would have been weak. I think he would have knowing his character, he would have perceived that as weakness and probably didn't want to be going around telling everybody. He was an insecure individual.
I mean, maybe, yeah. Oh,
and
I wish they'd explore
James almost certainly was doing it because Severus was so close with Lily.
Just because he liked her, you think? Yeah, maybe that's why.
I mean, why do you bully people? I mean, usually it's not for no reason.
That's fair. I still think Harry's dad was.
Oh, he was 100%. But if you look at James, if you look at everything that we know about James, he was a great wizard, a great Quidditch player, one of the youngest Seekers ever, next to Harry, and you know he has a girl. He has no confidence issues, or at the very least he shouldn't. So why would he? Like a lot of bullies bully for self-confidence issues. James shouldn't have had any self-confidence issues. So then you got to think about why the would he be bullying Severus? It's got to be because Severus was close with Lily.
He was just jealous of him?
Yeah, it has to be. What other reason?
I mean, I guess I can see that.
It's just because if he
that doesn't make it okay.
I agree.
That does not make this okay.
100%. But I'm just saying, you want to dissect the thing, you got to look at all the facts. If he was just bullying for no reason, he could have picked anybody. The fact that it's Severus specifically, there's a reason for that. It's got to be that. I bet it explains it somewhere. I don't know.
It might. If not, that's the best explanation I can think of. Because that would make sense.
I mean, yeah, he's still and it's still not okay.
Oh yeah, he should not No, they should not hold Harry Potter's dad, James Potter, in high regard at all. If that's what he was. Maybe Lily, because supposedly Lily was really nice to everybody. She was very well loved. James Potter, not so much. And I'm assuming maybe he's the one that actually pissed Voldemort off. Not
all the people in the Order liked him.
I mean, yeah, everyone likes the charismatic guy. They don't see.
What are you saying right now? Another thing, and people talk about it all the time. Whenever you really start to have, how the did the twins see the guy who was the rat hanging out with Ron all the time and never bothered to say anything?
That's a good question.
I know it gets brought up a lot. I'm not coming up with anything revolutionary, and I don't have an answer. I'm just wondering.
You're there. Maybe they didn't know the name, and they assumed maybe that's one of his classmates.
Everyone knew the name. Everyone knew the name.
Not the twins.
Man.
They were still kids. They were still teenagers. They were probably like, oh, I guess he's hanging out with his other friend or something. I don't know.
Everywhere.
He didn't carry the rat with him everywhere. Honestly, the rat was with the cat most of the time, trying not to get eaten.
Yeah, Crookshank knew what was up.
He was trying to save him.
That cat knew something was up with that rat specifically. There's no way Hogwarts, being a giant medieval castle, has any kind of great protection against rodents, unless magical, which is possible, but it's never explicitly said. So I'm assuming they must have had a rodent problem. Crookshank could have gone for any rodent.
He wanted that one.
That one specifically. That's because Crookshank knew something was up. Just saying. The Time Turner was also really cool. Very neat piece of magic.
Should not have been in the hands of a child.
Absolutely
but I do agree.
Absolutely not. But McGonagall trusted Hermione. Honestly, good on McGonagall.
I don't. She should not have.
I also like McGonagall a lot. She's one of my favorites also.
She's fantastic. I wish we could have seen her use magic more.
I wish we could have seen her more in general. I don't know. Maybe I'll read the books. I need books to read.
Yeah, you see her a lot in the first ones because she's the whole instructor. She's the representation of school in all that sense. When they start going to wars and stuff, that's when you just, I don't know. You don't see her as much.
Yeah.
She's always trying to protect the kids. That's all she's ever trying to do.
Going through this most recent watch, yeah. Man, the scale of how bad things could get is completely lost after the meme was made of was Adam Driver looking at Daniel Radcliffe, and he's like, Darth Vader took over a whole galaxy. Voldemort couldn't even take over a high school. The whole time I was thinking about that, and I was like, God, dude, Voldemort's a like, you serious? The most powerful, if this is the most powerful that the wizarding world has to offer, y'all ain't much of a threat.
Yeah, also, why didn't Hogwarts call in these other schools to come help them with all these other students?
Yeah.
Why did they just that's our problem? What? There's so many people you could have called in that I guarantee would have come to help.
The headmaster of the chick school was at the wedding, So she must have been involved somehow. Those other guys from the north, the fire monk dudes,
Yeah.
those guys are definitely bad. No good.
Yeah.
They were they jumped on board with Voldemort the second they had the opportunity, for sure. You don't just blow fire snakes and you're not evil. You me? No way. Also, when Harry destroyed the Horcrux, we're over time now. When Harry destroyed the Horcrux inside himself, did he lose some of his magical abilities? Because he no doubtably was a more talented and more powerful wizard because of the fact that he had some of Voldemort's powers. That's why he can talk to snakes. Did he lose his ability to talk to snakes after that? I don't know. Do we have the answers for that? Is that in the not the legislation? Is that in the?
They are doing they're doing sequels or whatever. Maybe they'll explain it there what happened to him after the Horcrux got deleted.
Deleted, yeah. Because if you don't think he lost the ability to talk to snakes, you're not paying attention to the literature.
Yeah. He probably he would have had to in theory because he didn't even know that he was talking because that was the Voldemort part of him talking to him, not even just him. But at the same time, though. He might be able to mimic it because Ron mimicked it when they went back down to the Chamber of Secrets because he's like, oh,
which
Harry
is a bunch of f***ing nonsense. That should not have worked.
Yeah, I feel like you actually got to know what you're saying. You can't just
Hermione in the episode 2 is like, oh yeah, it's really rare. Not a lot. Most people can't do it. That would imply
Ron just listened to him in his sleep all the time.
That would imply that it's not a language one can learn. You're either gifted with it or you're not. It's not something you can just learn. Otherwise, tons of people, all of Slytherin would be going to snake class. Instead of taking Spanish, you'd take Posseltongue. Kidding me? Makes no sense.
Yeah, that part was a little wrench thrown in there that it definitely didn't need to be there.
Bleep all that.
No, I do agree with that.
Harry Potter gets a 4 for me.
Gives 4.5 for me.
That's good. That's a good movie. All of them.
Yeah. Then we're rating them all as a whole.
Yeah,
the whole.
Yeah, I'm not going through
1 through 8. Not 7, but 1 through 7.
Yeah, we're not talking about mythical, magical, fantastical beast.
Yeah, that one, and then all the other stuff. There's a couple others.
Maybe I'll read the books.
I thought it was good. I love it. And then going back through it, because we've watched it years ago, and we just watched it with the kids, which they really liked it, which was even better.
Yeah.
But watching through it, there was a lot of stuff I didn't really miss, but I didn't catch until I watched it this time. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And I could mentally dive into a lot of their world more.
This is only your second time watching all of them.
Yeah. I've watched 1, 2, and 3, I think 4 times. I watched those a lot. Because those were also on 1, 2, and 3 were on repeat in the hospital room after I had Nick. At 3 in the morning. They were on some kind of repeat. They did 1, 2, 3, and then they did 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, all right, I guess this is what I'm watching. And I watched that 3 times in the hospital. And then we watched it together a couple times. So those I've actually seen a lot more. Yeah. All the older or the newer ones, later ones, I've only seen once.
Yeah. So you obviously you catch a lot more on any second viewing.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's Harry Potter. Thanks for listening. Drink your water.
Check back in next week. Drink your water.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, if you enjoyed listening to that episode, you can find more. Just go to graymanmediaco.com and you find all things The Other Show.